You can recommend someone. God, now Corey Feldman is going to be our new Surgeon General.
Oh, dear God.
Is that what we decided while I was out feeding the meter?
Yeah.
Is that Corey Feldman is our next Surgeon
I think it's a possibility.
Oh, Lord.
It's a
These are dark
possibility.
times.
We have an important election coming up in Los Angeles. You guys prepared for, I think it's May 16th.
I just got my ballot in the mail.
Yeah, I don't know if you looked at it. Did you look at it?
I did not.
I believe that you and I are probably...
I knew the election wasn't this week.
Yeah.
No,
it's very important. You and I believe, are voting on one item. No individual. We're voting on, Measure C, which will affect police who are having to go before a disciplinary board. Currently, the board would be made up of 2 police officers and a civilian. And this will let the city council change that so that the cop could choose to go before 3 civilians. And in my imagination, I would think most cops would prefer to go in front of cops.
Yeah.
So it'll probably affect 0.001% of cases, and that's what we'll be voting on.
Death panels aren't an option?
Yeah.
No.
Other people in LA
Keep
will be
bringing those
voting
back.
on some other things, but I believe in our area, that's going to be a real slow news day. And then there'll be a lot of tweets about how disappointing it is that only 6% showed up at the polls. But
Yes.
I'm trying to get excited about this.
I live in West Hollywood where the rules are all different and the elections are not as good as yours.
It's a bubble inside
It's
a bubble.
a bubble inside. It's like the ultimate blue bubble where I live.
Yes, it's you guys fight with Santa Monica.
But it's like West Side Story with gay men in tight pants doing street fighting.
So exactly like West Side Story.
Exactly like West Side Story.
I'm sorry, are you describing your political debates?
I'm trying street in West Hollywood, yes. Oh my God! All right.
Well, this has been a very musical theater-centric show.
It has. We do. We've burst into song several times.
Yes. Well, Moses Supposes that was before.
That was before the mics were on.
You guys
we did
missed out. If you're listening at
rousing
home,
Moses.
That was the warm-up.
It was
beautiful.
really fantastic.
I think it's all songs from the 40s and 50s. What's that about? I guess we're showing our age.
Well, musicals before Tim Rice
Yeah, right, exactly.
and Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we only have a little bit of time left. We were talking about the replacement of the Surgeon General. We should probably talk about this because today is Earth Day. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day,
Still
everybody.
not a holiday because you can't get half-priced Earths the day after.
Right.
But there is around the country and around the world, actually, they are having marches for science.
Yeah.
Which on one level I think is fantastic. On another level, I am terrified that we actually have to have marches
march for science. Oh, God.
But Jim, you are heading to the LA march after we record the show here.
That is correct.
What's going on? What are you hoping to get out of it?
I just want to be a body at these things.
Yeah.
Just to say, was there 100,000? No, there was 100,001. So, of course, some of us were at the Women's March. That was pretty much probably the biggest crowd I've ever even been close to being in. I did the tax day march last weekend. So it's a little bit, maybe we could space these things out.
Well,
but I guess it is tax day and then Earth Day.
Well, but also there has been a march. I think every Saturday.
Yeah.
Since January 20th.
Yeah.
And there is a lot to protest. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Also, it's kind of nice that each time Trump responds, he certainly responded on for the Women's March. He responded to the Tax Day March. It actually does get under his skin, which is kind of satisfying.
It's so satisfying.
Yeah, that is the weird thing. He is completely contradictory about so many things, but he's thin-skinned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the other thing I'll get back to the science thing, but we're approaching the 100 days. And
which is total
Next
bullshit.
Saturday
knows.
is 100 days.
Okay.
It's going to be our
ridiculous.
big 100 day
It's
special.
made up, and it's total bullshit.
Yeah, how do you go on the campaign trail, talk about all these things you're going to do in 100 days, and then...
Well, and many of them not even in 100 days on my first day, which still aren't done.
Yeah.
Thank God, but...
Yeah, and then be like, oh, that's That's a completely
I'm
unfair
waiting for the fuzzy math to start coming out. Well, yeah, but the 100 days doesn't count weekends spent at Mar-a-Lago.
Absolutely.
Right.
Which there have been plenty
he still
of.
gets
So
a few.
those, except for the ones where there was cake, beautiful chocolate cake.
And when he's on the golf course, he's having important meetings.
He is.
When Obama's on the golf course, he's just being lazy.
Yeah.
Right? The Science March today, it started at 9, so I obviously missed the start of the march. But
it's not an exact science march.
Oh my God, you're on fire today.
Let's just stop the show. Anyway,
Good night, everybody.
and it goes till like 4 or 5 actually today, and they're calling it an expo. I don't know what exactly it is, but anyway, one of the people who's speaking at 3:40 today is a woman named Jess Phoenix, and she's going to run in 2018 for the 25th Congressional District. This is the nearest Congressional District to us that is flippable. It's currently held by a Republican, but he only won about 56% of the vote, and so it's considered good odds that it could go the other way. So she's going to speak, and that's a lot better. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God! If only we'd done that an hour ago.
Yeah, David just adjusted something here.
Gently, tenderly adjusted.
Anyway, so that's that. I'm excited about that because it is a chance to help further flip the Congress. We recently had the what was it? Basically a primary because no one won in the 26th congressional district. Which it was obviously going to be a Democrat, but I was hoping it could be a little bit more Bernie Sanders style. That didn't quite happen. The 3 Bernie type candidates did not make it to the runoff. But anyway,
we were talking about this a little bit before the show, and I think it's interesting to see that the Bernie Sanders edged candidates aren't doing as well as everyone thought they would from the whole swell with the election. The Cal exit, California's secession idea has been stricken from the ballot. So is the left coming more to the center? Are we seeing is this a factor of Trump dragging everything else so far to the right that the Bernie-crats are going, all right, well, maybe we can be a little bit more reasonable, but we still don't have to be corporate about it.
Yeah, I think the left is still pretty
factional. We're still cheesed off.
And cheesed off with each other. I was just seeing a thing today about people coming down on Bernie Sanders because he is not,
supporting that candidate who is
reproductive rights. And
right.
And he's not coming down
squarely,
on because all he cares about is economics, which that's his strength and his weakness, both. I think. I saw Elizabeth Warren this week in a few places because she's out promoting her book, and I mean that woman is on fire. It's sort of extraordinary. I hadn't seen her talk for a long time, and she was talking to Rachel Maddow for a long time. And Rachel just let her go, and she's like an Energizer bunny of and her message is fight, 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 fight. She must have said the word fight 40 times in the, finger quotes, interview that she held forth on, much as I'm doing now. But she's got the fire in her belly, and I think a lot about, I see her positioning herself. I understand she keeps saying she's not going to run in 2020. She's not going to run. I don't believe that for a minute, because when I look at her, I see a candidate laying her groundwork for a run in just the kind of what she talks about and how she presents herself. And, if there was a Warren Sanders ticket or a Warren Franken ticket, I think it would go a very long way. That is not Hillary Clinton by any stretch, and I think they're enormously popular candidates. And Franken is building his profile up. And we know he likes to be on
meanwhile,
TV.
the one person that I'm sure that I know of who has declared they're running in 2020 is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Who's
already done
raising money.
Yeah, raising money, and of course a lot of it goes towards Trump-owned businesses or his buddies' owned businesses.
Naturally.
I
believe his 2020 campaign slogan is going to be, just give him a chance.
Yeah. You know, he raised millions and millions and millions of dollars were donated for the inauguration that have disappeared. And I don't know what that money is being held for.
Yeah, he raised twice as much as Obama for 2008.
Yeah. And
he still couldn't get that many people.
I was going to say, he could have bussed in more people with all that.
Yeah.
Money not wisely spent.
No.
So maybe that's...
He could have spent it on Photoshop.
Yeah.
I mean, the license is not that expensive.
Really.
You get one
I got a
teenage kid.
friend
Right.
who could probably help him with that.
You zoom in on his crowds. It's like, wait a second. Those are all minorities. That couldn't possibly be for him. Oh, boy.
I guess that's not part of Barron's skill set on the cyber
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
yet.
Yeah, I'm sure he asked. Hey, Barron, I got a project for
Can
you.
you
Did
even
you do
imagine
Photoshop?
what the relationship is between Donald Trump and Barron Trump?
Non-existent.
Can you? Yeah, I can't even picture them in a room together.
No, he doesn't show any affection for anyone. I mean, that's
Yeah.
he's a classic
Except
narcissist.
for Ivanka.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's more of, I think that's more of him viewing her as a possession and as a status symbol for himself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
The fact that I don't know if you've seen the photos of how he doesn't walk anywhere near Melania, and it's not just that one time when he got out of the
It's
car.
every
on the inauguration.
time.
It's
Right.
all the time.
Yeah.
And just to be so unaware of it, you know.
What do you think the distance is on her restraining order?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe.
Did you
20
see the footage during the Easter egg roll
Yes.
when they were doing the pledge and she nudged him?
Oh yeah, to put his
To put
hand
his
over
hand-
his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, oh, she's gonna regret that later.
Yeah.
I'm sure he.
Oh,
didn't.
he's gonna. Yeah.
Well, you know,
He's gonna
Meanwhile,
phone
this
book
is-
her later.
This is like the worst reenactment of the Manchurian Candidate.
It really is terrifying. I saw a thing. Let's just talk about what we saw on the internet this week. I saw this great thing, a photo series of all of her photos, like all amalgamated together,
Oh,
and
yeah,
like
yeah, I saw that.
looking at the world
From her
through,
Instagram,
from
right?
her Instagram through her eyes, and it really is amazing. I mean, it is lonely. It's unpeopled.
There's a total of like one photo of him, of her husband.
Yes.
But the rest of it is just looking down at New York. Basically.
From her tall window up in the clouds. And then a couple of Bannon, like off in the distance or with his back turned to her. I mean, it is just a very low. She's in the gulag. She's in it. And you almost want to feel sorry for her. But
yeah.
Almost.
I kind of do. I have to say I do. Just as a woman,
you know,
I mean, like, it's shit.
I can understand, but she had someone make her bed. She has to sleep in it now.
Yes.
She knew what she was getting into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I don't. She didn't.
It was
she
very
didn't- she
clearly
didn't-
spelled out in the contract.
Yes, she didn't marry a politician, though. So
No, she
that
didn't.
is
that's
true.
a different life. But
Yeah.
and that's why
She's
staying
still
in
not
New York.
married to one.
Yeah.
Do you think that she will ever move to the White House, or is that just a ruse?
No.
Because they said originally 6 months, or wait till he finishes, till Barron finishes school, but it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
Going to. Is he at Mar-a-Lago again this weekend?
I don't know. This could be. There's actually a website I think where you can just literally see if he's there right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. No, I don't think she'll ever move into the White House. I think she wants nothing to do with him, and I think neither does Barron, and they're just trying to tough it out.
And meanwhile, the taxpayers of New York
at
City.
our expense.
Yeah.
Yes, we're paying for their terrible marriage. Woo-wee.
Ugh.
Woo-wee.
Share the wealth. Well,
Yeah.
on that note, I think we can call it a week. But definitely tune in next week for our first 100 days special. Ernie Powell will be joining us on the panel, so that'll be a good time. But for this week, I want to thank our panelists who came in. Mr. Josh Greenberg, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pleasure.
Anything you'd like to plug?
Nope.
All right.
No, I guess find me on Twitter, Mr. Josh Greenberg, or Facebook.